And so we are on to week 16. We're here, we're back. Another episode of the franchise rebuild. Y'all know what it is. We rebuilding the Raiders. We trying to rebuild them into contenders. And right now, this is how the playoff picture looks this week. In the AFC, we have myself, the Raiders, we have the Texans, we have the Chiefs and the Dolphins. So we have 4 users in the playoff bracket, and over in the NFC, we have the 49ers, we have the Lions, we have the Giants, and we have the Eagles, all user players. So I'm the number 1 seed. Niners are the number 1 seed in the NFC. Texans is number 2. And the Green Bay Packers, which is a CPU team, is number 2 over in the NFC. So we got a majority users in there, but we trying to get it to the point where it's all users in there. So let's check out these awards. Of course, Malik Willis, after the performance he put on last game, offensive player of the week, 13 for 20, 338 yards passing, 3 touchdowns, 1 pick, 2 sacks, 16 carries, 101 yards, 3 rushing TDs, 1 fumble. Then, of course, you have Chop Robinson, had 5 tackles, 2 sacks, 1 fumble recovery. So huge week for the squad. We did what we had to do. So we're going to go ahead and get this training out the way. I'm going to do something that I ain't did in a while, and I'm going to go ahead and document this training just to see if it's worthy of me keeping it in there. See if we've gotten faster with it, and maybe it's not as long. Maybe we can get that time cut down to about 7 minutes or so, 6 or 7 minutes. Mike can then edit up the gameplay and put it in there and then keep it under 20 minutes. If not, then we'll go right back to skipping the training. So we'll see. We'll see. But we got Malik Willis first up the bat. Again, we trying to build him up as high as possible. He's been having an excellent year. Front runner for the MVP candidate, or he's a front runner for MVP. So all we have to do is keep maintaining the performances that we've been performing with Malik Willis, and that should be our award. It should be in the bag for Malik. So we've been doing an excellent job focusing in on him, getting him built up. Again, if you've been watching and following as I've been documenting Malik, he started out as a 63. Right now we have him in the 80s. The goal is to have him in the 90s by the time the end of the year comes, you know? So, and the funny thing about it is, normally prior to this Madden and the last 2 Maddens, prior to those 2 games, normally how I ran my franchise is I had a veteran QB that was average. I used him to kind of bridge the gap the first 2 seasons. And at the end of the first season, I would draft my replacement and build and develop him. But Malik Willis has all the intangibles that I need out of a quarterback. So ever since he's gotten in the league, he's always been so low. It's been easier to go after him and just develop him from the jump without no kind of strings attached or anything like that, or any time we had to invest or give up. Anytime we had to give up. You know, when I start the franchise out and I have to when I start the franchise, I had to start that over because I'm talking too much. So I messed up on that first one. I wasn't doing what I normally do. But when I start the franchise off initially and I have to go veteran QB and wait for my quarterback in the draft for year 2, that's time wasted. You know, like I have the vet that I'm playing with in year 1 and year 2 versus user opponents while developing my rookie against CPU opponents in year 2. It's wasting a lot of time. Like, that's a lot of time that I could just be getting full on head of steam, knocking out the complete development of my rookie or whatever player it is that I'm trying to develop. So ever since I started with Malik, when he first got into the league and he's become available in the game. And like I said, he has the intangibles that I need. He's just been the guy that I've been going to. Now, each year that passes, he's getting older and older. So that's not going to happen. I might not use him next year. Next year, I might use somebody else. Or next year, I might just go back to my ways and do the veteran QB year 1 and then draft my rookie in year 2. I don't know. We'll see. But so far, so good on his development. Brock Bowers, we've been developing him as well. Powers Johnson, another guy I keep beating. I want to say something, but I don't want to say it because I know how people are. So, but I don't want to keep repeating myself when it comes to Jackson Powers Johnson. But like I said before, I've mentioned multiple times before, this season, this franchise rebuild, this first installment of the franchise rebuild, because we haven't made it to year 2 yet. But year two is the year that I plan on really building up not only Jackson Powers Johnson, but the rest of my offensive line, because that's going to be the year once I draft my star running back, once I draft my future of the franchise as far as a running back is concerned. That's when I'll start focusing on the run game heavy. And that's when players like Jackson Powers Johnson will really develop outside of just the training aspect. But right now he's not getting that development like that. The only way he's getting his development is through training, because I'm just passing trying to build up Malik Willis. And that's another reason why it's a good thing that I do have Malik Willis year 1 and not having to wait year 2 to develop my rookie out of my draft class, whoever that may be. Because if I'm developing my rookie, then I have to focus on getting his passing numbers up and his passing stats up. So I can't focus on anything else, which would keep me behind on developing whatever my offensive line is, because then I wouldn't really be able to develop my my running back until year 3. So this whole waiting process is getting eliminated by me getting a head start on whoever my quarterback is in year 1. And so far, it's been Malik Willis. But like I said, as the years go by, he gets older, then we're going to have to start looking at other quarterbacks. I had this happen with me with Braxton Miller. I used to do that all the time with Braxton Miller. I would start my franchise off with Braxton Miller. I would go acquire Braxton Miller and then move him to a quarterback, and I would develop him. And I kept developing, but then he got older. And then eventually he was out of the league as well. So we had to move on. And then that's when I went back to my method of using a veteran first year and then acquiring my rookie QB in year 2 and then developing him. But like I said, it's way more beneficial to me to start the development on my quarterback, whoever that may be, in year 1 versus having to wait to year 2, because it sets me back on everything else, running back, offensive line, etc. So last but not least, our bookend corners. We got a complete development of them. Farley and Forbes Jr. have been having an immaculate season. And if you watched my last episode, I think it was the last episode, it could have been an episode before that, but when I went through the whole development process, I think that might have been, I don't know. That might not have been last episode. It could have been an episode before that. But when I was doing development, when I was going through and I was actually using my XP and developing my players, we developed Farley and Forbes Jr. a good bit. They've been having an excellent season as far as being turnover machines and just locking up on the outside. They've been really excellent for me. And yeah, we just trying to complete their development. We trying to get them both to the 90s, but that's a lot harder to do with corner. Corner is a lot harder to get you guys to 90s. You can get the turnovers and all that you want to, but it's just not as simple, just not as easy as it is for wide receivers, running backs, quarterbacks, defensive ends, etc. So, and as you can see, we got gold off jump. It looked like we wasn't going to get gold for a minute, but we got gold. That's huge. Don't let them get that. Thank you. So we keep our gold. good deal. One player left. We got the last player left on the board. Of course, Forbes Jr. to finish out our training for the week. And I'm looking at it right now. We're at 10 minutes and just, yeah, the whole test, the whole experiment of trying to get this done in enough time to be able to have the footage just isn't going to work. This episode is going to come up short. It's going to be a failure as far as that's concerned. But nonetheless, it was worth a shot. Let y'all get a look at my development one last time. I might do the whole development thing again in season 2, just to see if when I change up the players, if it changes. You know, because I could easily go through. Now, I'm not going to do it, but I could easily go through and put all defensive linemen and then do trench battle. And this be super quick. This probably be like 3 minutes if I did all defensive linemen. But I'm not trying to just train all defensive linemen, even though it probably would be beneficial. I probably have the best defensive line in the game, but I'm not trying to do that. I got other players I'm trying to develop. Like I said, I'm going to be developing my running back. I'll probably have a rookie receiver I'm trying to develop. I don't necessarily know if we're going to be focusing on corners still. There might be other players that we're trying to focus on building up, but who knows? We shall see. We got the goal with Forbes Jr. already, still with 27 seconds left to go. But like I said, who knows? I'll probably do 1 week of training, just to see. I might do 1 week just to see if the time ends up being faster than what it is right now, because we going on what 12 minutes now. We still got 17 seconds left. So yeah, this obviously the experiment has failed. But I did get another week of training in. It's been a couple weeks. I've experimented without having to train, and it's gone pretty good. Well, like I said, as you can see, when I skip the training, it's still, the episodes are still like 16, 17, 18 minutes. So like I said, I try to keep my episodes between 15 and 20 minutes. And with this training being the way it is, if I was to do this and then jump straight into game action, then it would be entirely too long. We'll be pushing like 25 to 30 minutes. And I haven't done episodes like that since the franchise first started. And I'm trying to stay away from that. So I'm trying to keep it 15 to 20 minutes. Don't want to draw anything out. So we're going to go ahead and cut this one now. We're going to go ahead and set the weekly goal, the weekly game plan. And let's see, I'm playing a computer, so what's reasonable? Either forcing 3 turnovers. We're not gonna do 5 rushing touchdowns, or I don't know, because Malik Willis, we do tend to rush a lot with him, but either forcing 3 or sacking a QB 5 times. Yeah, sacking a QB 5 times is a bet. Allow 20 points or less. We're going to go for the gusto and try 10. Now watch, because I do 10, watch the Jaguars try to run amok on us. So 400 yards offense and win by 17 should be feasible. So that's going to be it for training for this week. Again, as always, I appreciate you guys for tuning in. If you're here for the first time or you're returning and you haven't liked or subscribed already, please do so. Click that notification tab so you can stay up to speed with not only this Raiders rebuild, but other Madden 25 content as well. Again, I appreciate you all for tuning in. That's been my time. Till next time,